Alright, let's talk about the movie Run, where this movie you might have actually missed out for certain reasons. So this movie Run is probably one of the best movies I've seen, and it was in 2020 as well, a year that was pretty struggles in movies as well. So this is on Netflix. If you want to watch it, it should be. Where the title is, You Can't Escape It. Things do get uncovered quite well in this movie. This is a movie I could watch again. I could. Because it has a great ending as well. So it's about basically her who you see on the picture. This is who you see first. She's in another room, and all these doctors and everything are trying to save this baby. It is. And then you see her in a wheelchair going up to the small baby in the, I don't know what you call it, but it's like a dorm. It is where the baby is. But this is DSATs. It's a murder mystery. Ignore the reviews, because this really should be a probably higher rating. But in the year it is. Like so. So, let's go back to the teenager Chloe and stuff like that. But let's go back to right from the start, because this is what you have to do. So, all you see is her put a hand and laughing like hysterical because she looks like it's breathing. And then she turns to the doctors, and then it cuts off. Then it tells you, says 17 years later, but it tells you a list of things what this person contains, and it's Chloe. So 17 years later, you see a 17-year-old kid called Chloe, and she is basically in a wheelchair. She cannot walk. She cannot walk at all. Now, her dream and everything is about to go to university. You know, perfectly natural. And she's waiting for a letter through to see if she's passed. But as you see what it says is a mother just tells her, if a letter comes through, I'll let you know straight away. So she likes, I don't know if they like chocolate balls or something like that she likes, she really loves, but she only gets treated them. So she dashes to the shopping bag while her mum's outside, I think, watering the trees and stuff like that. There is a picture here. This is when she finds out a whole truth, which is, spoiler, I was like, what the fuck? So, basically, how can I put this lightly to you? She finds this tablet, and it's a green tablet, and it's a toxin, I can't remember the name of the tablet, but it's green. So, she's like, okay, and then when she's basically getting the medication, she sees the green tablet, and she says, oh, I thought this was for you. She says, why it would be for me? But what you don't know is, if you go back to when she went in the bag for it, it turns out the label was actually peeling, and it said another name on the label, and this is when it gets very suspicious. So when they actually physically go to the cinema, she pretends she wants to go to the bathroom. So she ends up going out the cinema, And the pharmacy who she's actually on the phone to and called actually is across the street. So she tries and dashes through, and she gets to the counter and asks about the medication, and obviously private confidential, so you gotta respect that because it has to do with the mom. But then she makes something about a treasure hunt or something, I don't know. But down the line, she searches up and she says it's very weird because the toxin tablets is red. Red? What do you mean? And these are green. So she searches up, and it turns out that the tablet that she's being given all these years with the rest of her medication is actually a dog tablet. So she asked the pharmacist saying, what happens if you actually give it to a human being? And she says, well, you won't be able to walk. So, it's basically, on the definition note, she can actually walk. She's being given medication. It is. Medication it is. That she shouldn't have been given. So, high expectations of suspicious. And she gives her a injection to pass out, I'm guessing, or something like that. And she ends up locked in a room. And this is when and there's a scene, and I don't want to spoil it, so I won't spoil this scene when she's locked in her bedroom. Absolutely fantastic scene. But I'm not going to spoil it, I'll let you guys watch it for yourself. Because she acts a great part of being disabled and not be able to walk. But here's the kicker, and I'm going to make some quickly spoilers here right now. And in fact, it gets so disturbing. This is huge twist in the book. So if you don't want to listen, I advise you to click off the video right now. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Okay. You ready? So, back to where it is. She finds out, and then she tries to sneak away, and she tries to do anything she can, but she's always there. And there's actually a scene where she goes on the computer, and if you look at the background, she's fucking sitting there like a creep. Literally creepy. But you have to feel sorry for her, but at the same time you can't, because what I'm about to tell you, it's just huge. So, when it comes down to it, she gets locked. She gets put in this basement or something like that, where there's boxes and stuff like that. And there's a videotape, So she sees this box and she opens it. And the first thing that she brings out slowly is the letter for the University of Washington. I'm not bullshitting you. Turns out she's kept that all the time. So she goes raging so bad and swiping her arms all over it is. Then she finds something else, which this is the uncovering story. There's a news article of mom and dad's child's missing. It turns out that is not her real mother. The one on the screen right now it's not her real mother. It turns out what the clip didn't show you because it cut off, her baby died. And she kidnapped her and give her these medications. But it shows you a photo of her, Chloe, when she was a little kid, walking and running. So, yeah, you know where we're going with this now, right? So it's turned from massively disturbing, very, very disturbing, to, do you feel sorry for her because, she's lost a baby, but she's lost the plot? She's lost the plot. Obviously, she's lost the plot. So everything gets uncovered. She dashes into this room and I don't know what she gets, but it's a big bottle of it. And this is when there's a disturbing scene too. There's a lot of disturbing scenes, so I just want to beware and tell you that as well, So, and then she says, "You need me," and drinks it, and then passes out. It is. So, yeah. Goes to the hospital scene, and he's pumping her out and stuff like that, trying to save her, and she has this huge tube down her neck, obviously, because he's still trying to pump stuff out. Obviously, there's a emergency in another room, and Chloe tries to write on a piece of paper for the nurse what she's wanting, or who is it, And there's a emergency in another room, so she dashes off. I'm not sure if it has to do with the mother or doing this or what, but I don't know. She goes in. This is a disturbing scene because she pulls out the fucking tube out of her, which you go, like that. Obviously, if you know about the pump and draining system, so it's kind of disturbing. She puts it in a wheelchair. I'm not joking you with this, and tries to make a run for it with her. But obviously, with a draining and stuff like that, you don't have the strength. You don't have the strength. So she just tries to take advantage and takes her back home or whatever. So the nurse comes back into the room and sees the note and realizes and clicks on what she's actually been meaning. So she gets the police and everything. So her, who's in the picture, has got the wheelchair, while Chloe, who can't barely walk, drained from getting pumped as well. This is an absolutely fantastic movie. There's no really negative side to it. There's really that's and it's very rare you see that in a movie. So it comes down to it that she tries to put her feet on the ground, and the mother realizes that she's getting her feet feeling back. It is. Kind of puts a delay on it, and she says, "I'm going home," and the copper shoots her, and she falls down the stairs. Now, you would think that that's the end of her and stuff like that, And I thought really it was, because if you look at the stairs, you could actually die from that. You could actually die from that. So 7 years later, not kidding, no, I'm not joking on this, she's still in the wheelchair because obviously it's going to take a long time for her to get that mobility, but she's on the right track. So she goes through this scanner or whatever to actually visit, and I thought maybe she wants to visit her parents, her actual parents. Do you know what I mean? Because if, you never know. Oh no. She's sitting and she's well dressed. Claire looks great. even though she's in the wheelchair still. And you see the mother still alive, and she looks a mess, she looks drawn in and stuff like that. So she's talking away and she's discussing her stories, and I don't know if it's a twist or it's just a great ending. She opens her mouth and she's kept the bag with the green tablets in. And there's like 3 green tablets. The tablets what you give to dogs. And all she says is, open wide. And that's how it ends. So obviously she's going to give her the tablets to suffer the consequences. But she's there, laid there on the bed, and she can't speak, so I don't know what, but I think she's already been given her tablets, because the way she was laid on the bed, it just seemed like she couldn't really move or speak to herself. So yeah, she just basically said, open up, and that was it. This movie was absolutely amazing. Not surprising if it's a true story too. I have no negatives. I really don't. Everything was so paced out so well in the movie. For an hour and a half too, it puts a lot of movies to shame. It really does. This is one of the best movies. Probably you would never imagine would be a good movie. You know, because I like a great story. I do. I like a great story in a horror, and if there isn't, it won't make sense. So I'm gonna give this movie actual 10 out of 10. The first horror movie on this channel itself. For a small casting crew and the people in, that's why I don't want to give all spoilers in all the movie, even though I have in the ending. It is so you can actually watch it for yourself. So it's the first movie that's 10 out of 10. Let's hope there's a lot more, but I highly doubt it, because this was made in 2020, and you wouldn't think a movie like this would actually... People wouldn't understand, because people like gore and all this kind, and I just think it's really, really fucking weird for a horror. You know what I mean? If it's a good story and there's that horror disturbing, then you got me hooked. Do you know what I mean? So I would recommend watching this movie. It is on Netflix. I don't know any other platforms, but I think mostly it's on Netflix. Please watch it. It is a great movie, a great story about 2 people, and everything is so related to the real world too, because it actually happens, and that's what's scary. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. What do you guys think of the movie? Let me know down in the comments.